After all the layers and changes, we are down to the final details on my two large abstract paintings. Let's see how these finishing touches bring everything together. Hi there, I'm Janine. I'm an artist and I share my creative journey on this channel. I've been working on these two large paintings for a while now, and they have gone through a lot of changes. In these final stages, I usually only make very small changes, tweaking a colour that's not quite right, removing the last distracting elements, but occasionally I also make a more drastic change to make the painting feel complete. You'll see a bit of all of that today. Still not super happy with this one. I think this colour up here that I added is too saturated. So I want to make it a little bit more mauvey, kind of a bit more of a cool tint to it. And I think this over here actually could be a bit warmer. So let's start with this one. So I've mixed a little bit of that kind of colour with some dark blue and a lot of glazing fluid. So I'll just go over that bit. I also think I want to blend it more with this up here. And then actually I think this bit here should be lighter again, at least some of it. But again, only as a glaze. And then down here, I think this could be a bit more orange. This kind of yellowy orange colour. I had mixed something like that a while ago, but there's not much left of it. And glazing fluid again. So it's just a transparent layer. Gives it a bit more of a punch. Get a little bit further over here. I have some Neocolor 2 marks here that are water soluble, but I've gone over them with gloss medium. So they should be permanent now, set in place, and they won't move if I go over them with my paintbrush. And then I want to do something quite drastic here. I think I quite like all the colours going on here. Originally I wanted this to be a bit more of a muted piece, but now I'm really liking all the colours that are coming in again, which happened to the paintings that I did before this as well. So I think all this is just looking too boring. So I want to cover pretty much all of this. And I'm thinking I want a colour that's kind of in between this pink and the really light pink here. So not as light as this, but lighter than that. And I'm going to use a really big brush for that, so I don't have as much control. And obviously I can cover a larger area quicker. This might go horribly wrong and I'll have to start all over again, but that's just part of the process. Just trying to decide how far I want to go. Let's just start in the middle. Currently I'm thinking it's a bit too light, but it will dry darker obviously. I think this needs to blend more into that. I'll take it down a bit further. Just looking at it in the viewfinder here in the camera, and I think that already looks much better. If I look at it in so small, I think I can go over a little bit more of these beige bits. And then one thing that's really bothering me is this. Those light colours are right in the middle, but I do like that they add a bit of texture here. So if you've got something in the middle of your painting, your eye goes straight towards it. But I want to obviously have the eye go everywhere. So I think instead of removing these light bits, I'm going to make the background that they're on also lighter, so they're not as obvious. What colours on this brush? Kind of pink. Probably want this more beigey colour. And this is quite dark now in comparison. It's a bit too purple. Try and make it a bit more neutral. To add some glazing fluid straight on here. That'll be easier than mixing it in here. And then I can wipe a lot of that again. Yeah, that's much better, I think. Now you see how this kind of looks the same colour as this. I'm hoping it's still going to get darker, still a little bit wet. I think this little dark brown, I could repaint that again. I think that would help draw the eye up again. I'm sure I've got quite the right colour here. That is way too blue. What about this? Well, that's quite good actually. Happy blue now. Just to be a bit darker. Not sure I like that now. What if I come in here? I don't think I like that. Sticks out like a sore thumb. See how much I can remove while it's still wet. And then I'll just paint over with the pink again. And then down here, I've got this new colour mark, and I think that's a bit too much. So I want to get rid of some of it. So the problem with having fixed that is that I now can't simply remove it with water. I'm going to have to sort of mix the colour from the background. It's quite fun to try and match the colour though. You'll obviously see that I've done this, but it won't be as obvious. Looking for other bits that I find distracting. I'm not quite sure about this line here. I think if I make it a slightly lighter colour so it can disappear a bit more, that might be better. So I use this. I'll do a mix of the beige and the pink. Still not liking this, but I really like the background here, so I'm hesitant to go over this one. Too late. There's also this little blob. First of all, the blob itself is quite distracting. I wonder if I can get that off with a palette knife.
If you like this video, consider subscribing.
This bit that I added earlier is too dark, so I want to make that even lighter. I'll add some glazing fluid and then a touch of white with the pink. And I could even have more of a harsher line here, where that pink starts. Not too harsh, but a little bit. And that also then kind of blends in with this light bit, because that was a bit of a weird shape before. And then I want to kind of blend it into this. And I kind of do that with the base of the brush. You could even go up a little bit further. We'll see if I like that. I don't think I do. No, I don't think I like that. I'm also wondering if this should have a bit more of a harsh edge. More of a defined edge. Maybe I will go a bit further down here. Oh, I'll just leave it blended for now. See how I like that when it's dry. The other thing down here, I want to make this a bit more of a solid block of colour. It's lots of colours in that. Maybe even a bit more brown. Have a little bit of burnt umber here. It's getting quite cool. Still not quite unified again enough. Take some of the burnt umber. And mix that in with the wet paint. I left a little mark here, but I quite like it. And then this bit of blue is distracting me, so I want this a bit more of a brown colour like the ones around it. I think this is now way too dark and sticking out quite a lot.
Sending shivers down your spine. It's enough to make you lose your sense.
I'm also thinking this could be a little bit lighter. Maybe this a bit more, a bit warmer.
There's magic in the way he moves.
Yeah, and that's just a touch warmer. That was a bit more than a touch. There's this really light fleck of really light yellow, which I don't have anywhere else, but I really like it. So I don't want to get rid of it. So I'm considering adding it somewhere else. I do have some fairly light bits here with the neo colour. Just trying to think if I could add it somewhere else. Maybe here where it's already a touch lighter. That might be a good opportunity. So I want to use a really small brush and mix some white and yellow. Try it on the side, see if that's kind of the same colour. Sort of, yeah. And then where it's already light, I'm just making it a touch lighter. Actually, that's not much lighter than it already is. It's getting too brown. I think it's because this isn't actually the same yellow I'm using. I can't remember what I used here. So I think what I'll do is I'll lighten it and then go over it with the neo colour so it's brighter. Something about this here that looks a bit too dirty. I think I'll go over that. It's quite a grey, bit of beige. Too blue. I'm pretty sure this is dark enough now. I think I like that. I'm wondering if I should make this darker, but I think I also like that. Just, that's dry. I'm gonna add a little bit of neo colour. This is orange, and I'll also use a bit of just yellow to make it even brighter. And I'll fix that with some gloss medium. It's looking a bit too acidic now. Might get rid of some of it. Just with some water. I'm also wondering whether to get rid of this bit of blue where I removed that blob earlier. I think so. At least make it a little bit less blue. Okay, I'll leave that for now. See whether I still like it in a few hours or days. I think this little bit here could be light. I think that would feel compositionally a bit better. Even though I do like all the marks here. So I think for the good of the painting, I'm going to go over that. Be better off doing that with a cloth. If it's quite the right shape yet. And another thing I wanted to do is make this light colour darker, and down here make this a bit more yellow. I'm quite happy with that. Let's add a touch of glazing fluid. Just so it's not quite as obvious. And here I think this could be a bit lighter. I don't know if that is any lighter than what's actually there. I'll have to wait till it dries. And I think this mark I want to make a little bit more subtle with a touch of yellow. One more thing I want to do on here is to add some neo colour, to add a little bit of texture here. And I think one more thing, these little bits I want to make a touch lighter. If you've missed any of my previous videos on how I created these two paintings, you can watch the whole playlist via the link in the description box. Thanks and bye bye!